Throughout the season, when in trouble in the second half, they managed to find another gear. Can they do it with time running out? There is Ingram to bat the ball away. Williams could tie it with a three. He goes!
Stick around the game, you listen to an old veteran like me, I'll show you how to talk on the air, boy. Yeah, talk, the TV. No, really, TV, cameras are going on and shit like that. Huh? I'm telling you, man, I'll show you how to make a living with this stuff. I'll show you how to have the people eating right out of here.
Vietnams or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
Woo!
Hey.
I always forget to change the fade in for our video to be like much shorter or much longer, and it's like too short. It doesn't. It's not. I ruined the dramatic effect, and I apologize.
You've been saying that for 2 months.
Well, it's a lot of buttons to push and to get. So,
Malort shot, baby. Here we go.
Oh man.
I'm drinking on the Funaguchi. It's delicious canned sake. I was reading about it. Apparently, it's designed to be sold out of a vending machine, and you drink it when you're on the train.
So, hell yeah!
That's a very specific scenario to design a drink.
Cool. I mean, that is exactly what what trains were designed for. Were to be moving around, drinking.
That's true. That's true.
Getting where you need to go.
Japan has a more sophisticated culture that incorporates the train.
Well, even I'm pretty sure this is pretty universal, but on pretty much every train I've ever been on, you are just allowed to drink. So it's like trains, just no matter the jurisdiction, like the inside of a train is just European insensibility. Like the metro, you can't. The CTA, you are technically not allowed to drink on, but no one's ever
people
stopped
drink.
Me. Yeah.
All the time. If you try to drink or eat food on the DC's subway, 12 wonks will accost you. They'll go, actually. There was a minor. That might be helpful. But there was a scandal a few months ago about a girl who was a member of the transit, WMATA, who was yelled at for eating a sandwich on the train.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And the person who did it, we yelled at her, and she deleted her account. So
didn't she get fired too?
I don't know.
Maybe this is another scenario of someone accosting someone.
If she got fired and didn't parlay it into a nice job at the Cato Institute, she's a rube.
Good point.
Because that's sitting right there for you.
Big softball.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry, I was trying to set this up.
That's cool.
Sounded like it was a good riff, though.
Typing.
Yeah, I shouldn't have gotten like a fucking hardcore mechanical keyboard. It's like I type on them for work. I have a really nice one for work that I got. Like I'd always wanted one, and so Sarah's mom asked me like what I wanted for Christmas, and I was like I don't know, because like when like moms ask me that shit, my mom is like the best at like getting you something that you kind of like didn't realize you wanted, and you're gonna probably use quite a bit throughout the year.
Oh hell yeah!
So I'm just not used to having a second mom who doesn't do that necessarily, and it's just like. Well, just whatever you want. Like, just let us know whatever you want. I'm like, But my mom always picks for me.
Not how we do it in my house.
Yeah. So, anyways, so I kind of like try to take that sentiment into what I asked for, and I had kind of always wanted like a mechanical keyboard, but I was like, I don't want to spend like $130 on a fucking keyboard. Like that sounds outrageous. But once I switched to the one that I have that I type on every day at work, I mean it is. I mean, you can't go back. But so I found this one when I built the computer for the stream. I found this one. I didn't realize you could just get like kind of a cheapo one for like $20. But it's still it's still better than typing on like whatever the fucking I can't remember what they're called. Whatever the regular ones are that are just like sitting on a piece of rubber, as opposed to like the spring that a mechanical keyboard is. So.
And I want you to know. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, this is a legitimate question. It's gonna sound stupid though. So you're saying that like there's springs in the keys and it launches your fingers back up quicker so you can move on to the next letter? Is that what's going on?
Well, it is two parts. Like, so you know that there's like a cap that sits on top of the switch, right? Like
Sure,
on
yeah.
any keyboard.
Yeah.
So the switch that's underneath the cap. Like, yeah, is not all of them are, like, some of them work, like, slightly different. There's, like, different variations, and I'm not really, like, super knowledgeable on them. But, like, I mean, there are guys, like, they're very distinct. There are, like, guys who can, like, walk into my office, and we're like, oh, like, you're typing on some fucking browns, aren't you? Or blue, I think I have blues, actually. Yeah, they're like, oh, you got some blues in there. I'm like, how the fuck did you know that? They're like, it's a very distinct noise. And I'm like, but yeah, so it does, like... It's far more tactile of like it's like typing on if you've ever typed on like a really old keyboard, it's like that. Like that's how they used to make them, and then they switched to like the way that they are now because it's much cheaper to make them that way. But yeah, I mean, it is like a significant upgrade. Like it does feel like way fucking nicer to type, and you can also type way faster because a mechanical keyboard, because it's like the way that it works. You can like hold down two keys simultaneously, and it will register both of them, as opposed to like a regular keyboard that can't do that. So your typing speed goes like way up.
And I do want our audience to know that fairly frequently after the stream is done, we're like, "Wow, that keyboard was loud." It was kind of like you were just. And Adam goes, "It's got the best feel. It's got the best feel. What do you want me to do? The feel,
it's tactile.
It's tactile. The feel's amazing."
I'm a very tactile man. I'm a sensualist. You know, I'm all about the.
I'm a poet of sensation.
I'm a poet of sensation. Yes, exactly. Man, sometimes that poetry extends into your fingers, typing on, you know, an actual moving piece of hardware. So, you know.
Adam is like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but for posting, he's like, "I'm typing and I'm coming. I'm posting and I'm coming."
Every day.
Oh,
Every day I am calming. I'm at work, I'm calming. I'm taking a poop at work, I'm calming. I'm driving home in the car, I'm calming.
I can't do it, right?
We are coming.
First thing I think you noticed that we if you go to the watch with me, I think we need to have a quick celebration moment if you're in it. Adam and Nathan have finally been rewarded. Nathan, I think, had given up. I was already planning. I was already making the plans because I had said that I wasn't going to watch the team if they didn't go to the tournament this year. I was not watching them anymore. And I was starting to think after the Missouri game, I was not going to be watching the Illini anymore. We still might be, but we are ranked, baby. The first time since before I was in college.
Who did they play they played Michigan after Maryland, right?
Yes.
They won. I think I skipped the first half of the Michigan game, and that's as far. I swore up and down I would never watch this dog shit team again. Before they beat Michigan, I only lasted one half. I lasted one half of basketball. I did not watch one half. Apologies to all the the basketball gods. I'm back.
Nathan really was tempting them there. I felt they still might be. They might be just taking us very high because we have to be punished.
Well, you know how I'm saying I said I'm back in a way that's like more just sort of grim dedication. I'm back. Like I'm not elated.
It's been a good 3 games. They finally looked clutch. They finished out games.
They did.
Which is something I've literally never seen a Brad Underwood team do.
Io is now immortal for doing this thing. We're doing this one. That's gonna be an immortal moment. Fucking ice water in the veins.
It's been good. It's been good so far. It was definitely getting ugly, and it could still be ugly. But right now, people are happy for me at work. People are happy for me online. There's no darkness. I think you know what this means. You know what this means is that Bernie will win. I think is what it means.
That's right.
I think the Illini are fucking ranked. The Illini are ranked. I don't know what else weird stuff is happening. What else is weird that's happening?
The Astros got a tiny slap on the wrist, and everyone's freaking out about it.
I mean, Justin
Jackson.
The White Sox.
Justin Jackson. The White Sox are looking good. The White Sox are going to compete.
The White Sox are looking like they might not be a complete disappointment.
Yes.
They're going to win 95 games. 95.
95
We
games.
are
95 games.
If you're making
not
bold
this year,
predictions like
but
that,
at some point.
At some point in the future. I'm telling you, folks, the Illini are back. Bernie's gonna win. We're shrugging off the shackles of the 2010s. Those are gone. Who liked the 2010s? Nobody. Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that the 2010s were the worst decade of living memory and the Illini were the worst they've been in forever? I say no. It's not a coincidence. We're getting rid of that old decade. We're in the new decade, the 2020s. It's the land of milk and honey. That's where we're going. We're going to the big rock candy mountain.
Oski Wow Wow.
Oski Wow Wow. It's all together. When Bernie talks.
What about if Liz Warren comes out and claims that she was an Illini, which is not a real tribe?
She invented Oski Wow Wow.
Yeah, like me and a bunch of other people. I can't even do a Liz Warren impression because I really have no idea what she sounds
like.
She does
there's
this
no
a lot,
impression.
Right? Like the thing I guess I remember that I can't really do while I'm doing this impression is the thing where she does the very phony active listening thing where she like leans in. And it's
oh
dude, it's the worst. Yeah. She drives me insane. It's the most disingenuous thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's
other than like just the like hysterical lies that like are like Jacob Wool-esque that she's rolling out this week. But that's hope. People are trying to attack Bernie. They got fucking nothing this time. They got fucking shooting blanks. They're trying to come at the Illini. Nothing. They got fucking nothing anymore. They can't do shit to us in 2020. We are bulletproof, baby.
That's what he should have said. With the New York Times, they had that interview with him, a very testy interview, and the New York Times should have like tried to like call out Bernie or get a gotcha, and Bernie was like, at the end of the day, the Illini are ranked number 24th for the first time in 5 years. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. I'm not touching you. Fuck off.
Exactly.
Nate, you got any Liz Warren impressions?
No, man. I don't even know what. I don't even know.
She doesn't really have a distinct accent. Is the issue.
And that's also the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, another big problem for the Democrats is they just don't have big enough personalities to warrant. They don't have characters. They they've watered themselves so down that they're trying to be everything for everybody, and like
we need a guy like Trump who is ostensibly this big heel, but at the end of the day, the crowd turns and they love him. That's what the Democrats need. They need a big.
It is Bernie.
Chris Jericho. They need a Chris Jericho.
Bernie's not a heel though. Bernie's not a heel. That's the thing. Bernie is a white meat babyface.
For Democrats, he's a heel. He's a heel if you're a Democrat. Like if you're a Democrat wonk, he's a heel.
He's a heel to fucking I voters too. Because I was calling New Hampshire the other day for the Bernie campaign, and this fucking lady, like, oh my god, dude, she just started hitting me. She was just getting angry and angrier. Well, I got like less angry and less angry, which was like just the funniest thing.
What'd she do? Let's go over it. What happened?
I was like, oh, well, I work for Bernie. I'm trying to like just fucking get an idea what's going on in your fucking dumbass state that you live in. And
sure.
And she was
sure.
Like, and she's like, oh, you work for Bernie Sanders, huh? And I was like, yeah, I was just wondering, like, if you support Bernie. And she's like, I do not support that socialist. And I was like, oh, well, do you support someone else? Like, I was like hoping like she'd say like Buttigieg or something. And she was like, I do. I'm like, well, could you share that candidate with me? I'm trying to get this information. She's like, I am voting for Donald Trump in the election. Like, how do you like that? I'm like, well, do you have a second choice? I'm like, do you have a second choice? And she's like, no. And then she started like launching into this rant about how I was an idiot and very uneducated. Which I just found, I thought it was kind of funny because I'm like almost positive that my professional certifications are probably far more extensive than this woman's. So like, not to do some like fucking classism here, but I would say on the whole too, Bernie's voters are probably like literally more professionally certified than
probably and therefore much more valuable
voters. Like at least in sheer numbers, unless maybe not by average, but in sheer numbers.
Was she trying to say that you're all deadbeats and losers and unemployed?
Yeah, like dope smokers or whatever, like some sort of Nixon type shit. Yeah. But I don't think it was even that coherent. I think it was just some Fox News rot going on. But it was funny.
You love a good Fox News.
But yeah, so Bernie is a fucking heel. Like, I mean, he's definitely like Trump. He's gearing up, man. He's looking forward to it. He's getting it. Trump is starting to fucking come back into full campaign form. It's like he's doing he's cutting some promos, like him like working out and shit. Like man. Like not literally because like if the man like literally thinks that like doing a push up like robs his body of semen or something like, and so but like yeah, he's like cutting some promos, he's getting ready. He realized he almost fucked up completely thinking Biden was gonna win it. He's getting himself impeached over trying to like preemptively assume Biden was the front runner. So yeah,
it's not going to work. It's not going to work, folks, because only one guy is not going to crumble. They're going to be at the debates. They're going to be at the first debate, and Trump's going to be like, Bernie, you're a socialist. Do you like the socialists? No, we don't like socialism. And Bernie's going to be like, shut the fuck up. Your Illini are ranked number 24 in the AP poll. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Like and then everyone's gonna cheer. Everyone's gonna stand up and cheer.
Yeah, they're gonna start doing the 3-in-1, or everybody's gonna put their hands up. They're gonna start singing the alma mater. They're gonna like fucking Roger Ebert is gonna rise from the grave and fucking become Minister of Culture or something.
Woo!
Yeah, lots of stuff.
We're bringing back Ebert Fest. Ebert Fest is coming back, baby. Let's do it.
Wait, maybe just before Bernie's gonna come out to. Woo! Man, when we're taking this fucking country back, me and you and your mother and the entire United States, we're gonna get this whole thing back on track. Illini winning the national championship, winning the Big Ten. It's fucking 1919 all over again.
I have one thing to say to the haters and the people that believe that we cannot dream big, for the people who have small dreams and say, Bernie, you can't do that. Bernie, You know, it's not possible. I say to them one thing, and that is this. ILI.
Woo!
Thank God.
Woo!
Woo!
Maurice, are you, both of
Yo.
us, both of your co-hosts have put in their time and volunteered for the Bernie Sanders campaign. You have to commit to doing so on air. Do it, man. Do it.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. No. I won't.
Oh, you're not about improving material conditions, my.
Oh man, dude. That sounds like a very tempting thing. It really does. I should maybe do something like that, but I will not. And I apologize to the cause and to the liberation movement for not doing more to get Bernie Sanders elected. I'm sorry.
I feel like you say that ironically, but also yes, you should.
No, listen, I'm sorry. I moved back to this big city. I was going to do a bunch of things, and then I got my ass kicked by stuff, and I've not done what I was supposed to do. I'm sorry. And if we fail as a unit, I'll take responsibility.
What's your zip code of your registered to vote?
Champagne still.
What is it? What's the zip code?
Why? It's 61821. Why?
61821.
I'm not trying to give up my personal information out here.
No, you're not. You're not.
Well, I'm technically registered in Urbana.
I know. I'm gonna put you on the Bernie app as a Bernie voter.
Oh, the Bernie
Wonderful.
app. I gotta organize one of those parties this week.
Wait, there's an app for that?
Yeah,
there's an app for that.
You have an app and you basically put in the people you know just so they can like gain information and voter and
oh, that's very cool.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Are you under Maurice Butler?
Probably not. Probably Clifton.
I'm not sure you're registered, my man.
How long does registration last for?
In Illinois,
you are not registered. Forever. Do you see this shit? You see how it works? This is how you do it because we found out he's not registered. He's not registered.
That's what
you said it lasts forever?
It should in Illinois. It should last for a really long time. The thing with Illinois too, though, is you can just walk into a polling station, and if it's the right one, and you have a piece of mail that says that you live in that voting district, you can vote and an ID.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to register in Illinois. You can just fucking show up.
But if you show up and vote, are you now registered?
I don't know about the primary though.
It should vote. It should. You can only vote for one. It's a closed primary. Well, it's not a closed primary, but you can't go and vote in all of them. You have to pick one the day of in Illinois.
Right.
Which is stupid. You should be able to vote in all of them. But anyways, all right.
Well,
yeah. Let's move on. This isn't an electoralism podcast. You can go take the shit to Pod Save America if you want to do that.
We could be taken up by the spirit though. The spirit has taken us over, but we're moving on.
Download
the
Burn app. Help your friends. That's the most I'm willing to commit to do. I'm Bernie Victory Captain. You can DM me if you need. You can email me. Southpaws.podcast@gmail.com if you need help getting in touch. It's pretty fucking easy to just Google it too. They're doing a great job compared to a lot of other campaigns. So
that's wonderful.
So quick before we jump to the Justin Jackson update, I just wanted to pop in. We have some video of Donald Trump at the national championship game.
Joined by the President of the United States and the First Lady.
Getting cheered, and then I think the USA starts. They came out. He's like on the field. Jesus. Anyways.
Is it in the watch together?
No, it was on Twitter, and I honestly forgot to switch it over, so people want to listen to the cheering.
Let's go. Let's do it.
So that's the Trump update. I thought maybe. What did you think? Did you think maybe it was likely that at least the national championship? I thought maybe there would be a boo.
Yeah, I thought so because it's played at a neutral site. It's played at.
It's at the Superdome.
Yeah, I mean.
Silverdome.
Yeah.
Not the Silverdome, the Superdome. The Silver Dome is knocked out.
I thought it was.
It's a Hulk
50-50.
Hogan reference.
What?
It's a Hulk Hogan reference.
Oh.
He was at Mania at the Superdome a few years ago, and he fucked up and called it the Silver Dome. Because he's old and senile and needs to die.
I'm racist, brother.
I'm really quiet, huh? Okay. All right. Apparently I'm very quiet, which is the first time I've ever heard that.
Wait, Nate, did you buy more Malort? You did.
No,
right?
I have 2 bottles. I only really drink it on the stream, to be honest.
Yeah, because that's the only thing. It makes it worth it.
It's a bit. Oh yeah. So that's the Trump update. I was kind of surprised. I feel like we always have to cover Trump at a sporting event because it's usually funny.
But also, it is when you think about it, like a ticket to that national championship game is probably no less than like $300. Probably
they'll still be on SeatGeek. They're more than that, dude.
Yeah,
should still have it. National...
So if you look at it's a neutral site game. It's in a southern
from $937.
The neutral site game, Southern City, featuring 2 Southern teams with a average ticket price of $1,000. That's getting a demo that's pro-Trump. That's a pro-Trump demo right there. Yeah. So that makes sense.
So we have in the Justin Jackson update, we have Justin has moved on to they have moved on to he's also just roasting Warren for lying about all of this Bernie stuff. Oh shit, he was giving away Chargers gear. I need to get that Justin Jackson jersey. Then
the powder blue, baby.
He's also in a very questionable thing. I gotta say, this one thing with Justin Jackson did concern me.
Tulsi Gabbard.
No, not the Tulsi Gabbard thing. Being a Panic at the Disco fan. So he can't unsee the Mayor Pete High Hope stance every time he hears the song, and apparently he likes the song. Concerning from Justin.
As long as we don't see him out here doing the
High Hope
dance.
song before the dance. The song was very bad before the dance too. I think that's part of what makes the dance so bad is that the song was so bad to begin with. Like everybody hated the song to start with.
Yeah,
I think that might be a fair point. However, I will tell you, when I first saw the dance, I was watching it on mute, and I hated it very, very much. Even still.
Sorry, I'm just looking at Justin Jackson's Twitter now.
He also said that he listens to Chop and Trap House, so that suspicion was confirmed. He should have said, I listened to Southpaws podcast the other day. It was very good. Everybody was terrific on it. I wish I had gone to Illinois because Northwestern is unranked. Will never be ranked this season. Illinois, in fact, though, is back on top where they will stay.
24, baby, 24.
We have to delicately balance the fact that we are very open to shit-talking anyone who won't come on this pod versus the fact that we still want him to come on this pod. Like Northwestern sucks, but we'll pander to you if you come on to the pod.
It's like he finally just got around to reading his emails, and he's like, oh, what's this from this publicist that I have? This podcast, and it's like the first thing just gets on there. It's just like, this dumb motherfucker going to fucking Northwestern. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, shit.
We love you, Justin.
Come on the pod. Don't go on Chapo. We're going Chapo after us. Let us get this.
Ship sailed, man.
I mean, David Roth going on Chapo first didn't make that any less special. Like, I feel like we delve deeper too, because Chapo is no, David, if you're not watching, but like if I know he had done like 2 or 3 different interviews with different sources, and then he went on to Chapo, and they asked him the same exact questions. And we work harder. We didn't ask David Roth the same boilerplate questions. We went deeper. We found an angle that was interesting for us and for David Roth. So you could be that, and we'll find interesting angles for you.
That's true.
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun time.
It could be. Just let it be, Justin. We'll all wear Justin Jackson jerseys.
Yes.
We'll do that. I will get on DHgate. I might even pay for the expedited shipping if we need to.
Yeah. Just give us 30 to 45 business days, Justin. We'll get those jerseys.
Actually, we shouldn't say that because then he also doesn't get paid because they get a cut. So, Justin, we will give you the $15 or whatever that you get.
I would much rather buy a DHgate jersey and then Venmo him money.
It's true.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's good praxis. See, we're just getting it. We're practicing it out here. We're going back to our libertarian roots.
Yes, anarcho-capitalists here.
Oh, don't even try to pretend that you didn't have any libertarian streak.
I don't know about libertarian. That's a little strong. The thing is, I met a libertarian, and that just turned me off so bad.
You know what? Before we go into the next thing, I guess this kind of segues. Like talking about election talk, I was watching this video on debates, and I totally forgot that fucking Rand Paul ran for president in 2016.
Oh yeah, he was leading. He was leading for a week or two.
He wasn't leading anything.
He was leading. Because you remember? Because they all made
3 counties in like fucking South Carolina.
No, because remember in 2016 they all had like a week or two of leading before Trump took the lead and kept it forever. There was like Carly Fiorina was leading for a week or two. That's true. Everyone led, and then Trump got in, and then once Trump got a solid 35%, and it was fucking done forever. It was just done the rest of the time. But
I totally forgot that Rand Paul, and Trump had that awesome burn on him, where Rand was like, I don't understand why we have to make fun of people's appearance and their height and stuff, and like Trump's like, I never once said it, I never made fun of him, and believe me, plenty of material there.
Oh my god!
Fucking kicked ass. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm trying to separate Trump the character from.
Oh, there you go.
From Trump.
Listen, folks.
Grotesque.
Listen, folks.
Hey.
You can separate the art and the artist. You know what I mean? just.
I mean, you gotta admit that's better than fucking Ted Cruz, who had done the exact same fucking shit. It'd been like not as funny about it. So.
Sure. Well, the thing is, Donald Trump had actual WWE training because he was in WWE for a while. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. So I think that was the key to his election. We need to get Jesse Ventura.
Character clause in the WWE Hall of Fame.
I think the opposite.
No.
You actually have to have a racist moment.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Here's a good segue to the Dave Bautista quote. Tweet.
Oh yeah, Dave.
Oh yeah.
Bautista.
Speaking of pieces of shit.
Why are you hating on Bautista? What did Bautista do now?
I'll be honest with you. I forgot, but I do know. You know, sometimes you just got people on your shit list from like years ago, but you just forgot why. He's definitely on my shit list. Right? I was not prepared to talk about him, otherwise I would have done my research again. But the dude is definitely on my shit list. All right, you guys want to talk him up? That's cool. You know, whatever. I'm a little too woke.
Good for him. He said he wants to see Bernie in the ring with fucking Trump, wiping the floor. We all want to see it. He's just saying what we feel.
We do.
Right, do a body slam.
And I was talking about this
Bernie
before.
does the stunner. We already know Trump can't sell the stunner, but
it's true. Yeah. I just want someone to bleed. I want to see someone's head get busted open.
You think
blading.
You think Trump would blade for the election? Like, if there was a
No. Isn't he a confirmed germaphobe?
Yeah, he's a germaphobe. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
But his own blood, though.
But he wouldn't cut himself. He wouldn't introduce like a pathogen. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Because like that's an actual way to introduce a pathogen. Usually, if you're a germaphobe, it's not. You don't really have like a real reason for why you don't do things. You just like it's usually like some sort of OCD type. If you're
Bernie would be a more cerebral wrestler. I don't think that he would be a very because he's kind of older, but I do think that he would definitely like. A wrestler would turn their back to Bernie and he would put on a fucking like the El Sacco and just be like fucking just like higher it's just written scrawled in Sharpie higher taxes and just goes bah! Just gets
I gotta say I appreciate the image that I just got, but I think you're wrong. I think that even at his old age, I think Bernie Sanders would definitely be a high flyer. Think about the energy that the guy has. Think about the energy that he has. Can you imagine Bernie Sanders' hair flying as he's flying through the wind and lands on top of somebody?
Doing a fucking moonsault.
That's good.
It's high flyer.
I gotta disagree with both of you. I think that Bernie is like an old school, like British grappling guy, like Zack Sabre Jr. Like he's the man of fucking 1,000 fucking holds.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
He's like comes. He's like got you in a fucking leg lock or something. And he's like, I like you think I don't know about this move? I wrote the damn move.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody else gave up the move when Reagan got elected. I kept it. I kept the move. I kept doing the move.
Or he's going against Jericho, and Jericho pulls out the fucking list of moves. And Bernie fucking grabs it and says he fucking wrote the damn list.
And then, no. But Bernie pulls the list away. He says, I wrote the damn list, but you're missing a page. And then does a new move that's not on the list.
Or he fucking hits him with like a giant like tax code book.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Or just the ACA.
I realize we're going so hard birding in this podcast, and it's just because the poll numbers. He's looking good. He's looking strong. He's looking good. I know that this is a left podcast, and Bernie does not encompass the left, but my man's looking strong right now. So
I'm just feeling very good about a lot of polls that I'm seeing in college basketball. I have at least some mild faith. Yeah. I mean, that maybe like the fucking the oceans won't boil while I'm alive.
I don't know about that. That's a little much.
If you're a leftist right now that's saying why are they going so hard for Bernie, just know that leftists never allow ourselves to have fun. Like that's a main negative about leftists is we're always the downers. And guess what? Today's fun. It's a fun day. Now we're having fun. It's fun.
Yes. We're just having
that's what I think about
maybe
that.
Something will improve at some point. So I guess that's kind of what I was trying to segue. I had a segue at one point, but I was
having too much fun. Having too much fun, baby.
Yeah, I kind of lost it. I was gonna try and make this like comparison to Mayor Pete and the fucking Astros front office because they were both McKinsey guys. And but so that's about what I got. That was my plan in this segment.
We'll get there eventually.
So the fucking Astros. If you haven't heard, we've talked about it a million times. We named it as one of the top 2 moment of 2019 was the cheating scandal. The punishments were handed down to most of the major players. Luno and AJ Hinch both banned for a year, but then were subsequently fired. Alex Cora, they're still figuring out because it turns out that when he was with the Red Sox, then they started cheating. So
that's gonna be banned for life.
I was gonna say because you do 2 teams.
See, I shouldn't have phrased it that way because I was going to try and bait Maurice into saying, like, of course they punish, like, the POC more because it is a bad take. Like, because it's like Alex Cora not only cheated at one place, then instituted the same fucking operation at a new place.
It's kind
of somehow a little worse to me.
Alex Cora strikes me. I don't know. Listen, I don't know if he is married to a white woman, but he definitely strikes me as the type of dude who would marry a white woman. Therefore, they can punish him all they want.
All I know is Burgos fucking loves Alex Cora.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alex Cora, like, also, his wife is not white. Well, she is.
She's like white
I
Latina.
mean, she's as white as he is. I'll put it that way. So.
Well, I mean.
You know what I mean. Like,
okay, well then I can't. I gotta go up for him then. Yeah, they're coming down on our man a little too hard.
Not
then.
to fucking get it out the calipers, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Maybe we should measure her skull.
Yes.
Maybe that's what's missing.
Before we
you know what struck me though? You know what struck me is that the Red Sox and the Astros are both in the AL, which is like it's like I would understand if you went to an NL team and started the same way.
Yeah.
But you don't meet, but like they meet each other like 6 times a year, and I can only imagine it was like the fucking Spider-Man picture where they're both like pointing at each other. It's like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
Well, you know what the thing that does suck is that like I'm not gonna go into my full thesis yet, but one thing that does like kind of suck out of all this is like now you have to admit that Trevor Bauer was probably right when he said they were cheating with the baseballs, which you know is like kind of a bad feeling. Now you can just hate him for being like he was just like kind of dry snitching. Well, he wasn't really dry snitching, but he was snitching in like kind of like a loser way. Like he wasn't a whistleblower. He was just whining that they were beating him. So it's still lame.
Yeah, he sucks.
But he was right. He was right. Which I mean, I don't know if that came out, but there's no way that they weren't fucking cheating with like the sunscreen shit at the bare minimum. Like I mean, you know, I mean at this point,
so how
they were probably like they probably were responsible. Like if I don't know if anybody like had like went on bereavement before like a big series, but they probably killed the person that they went on bereavement for. Or, like, you know, I mean, nothing put it past the Astros, who are probably a CIA op.
Well, yeah. I mean, but you can't put it past anything that's owned by a billionaire. Also, how do you guys what?
Well, do you think the billionaire even knew that they were doing that?
Dude, I don't know.
I don't
yes.
know how active.
Yes.
Yeah, anyways.
I can't imagine that he didn't know. How do we feel about the punishments though?
Oh, they suck. They're fucking doo-doo. Like, I mean, that's what I was
saying.
saying.
What more could they do though?
They should have banned him for fucking life.
Yeah, no.
Like, I mean, if they had any like fucking decency, even just for like trying to pretend to be what they like claim to be, they would have banned him for life.
Yeah.
Like at this point, do you think Pete Rose would have been banned for life if that happened today?
I don't know, because Pete Rose, I feel like, really changed a lot of the culture of baseball by him being banned for that, because we use him as such a precedent.
That's true.
So if you pluck him from the timeline and then put him in today's game, I could see it, honestly.
Yeah.
Only because you wouldn't have that precedent, because nobody would be. It would be something that never happened before, for the most part. You know, if it would happen today, still. I can see it.
I don't really know. It's just my gut feeling that like. I know that you're going to touch on this main thesis about how this Astro scandal is the perfect early 21st century scandal.
Oh, you ruined it.
No, he has much more than that.
Well, I've also talked about it on the fucking show before.
But basically, like, I think that Pete Rose still would have been very harshly punished because, like, Pete Rose's issue and scandal was like a low class crime where it's like you're a shithead degenerate gambling, but the Astros is a high class crime, which is just like what every upper class person does, which is like game the rules and the arbitrary system and just like be like in this like cheating in this kind of bloodless technocratic way. Even though the actual banging on the drums was a very like crude thing, but the whole thing was just very like this bloodless thing where Pete Rose is more of like, we can destroy him because gambling is a low class type of.
See, that's my point though. That's why I feel like I think Pete Rose would still be punished the same way now. What did I didn't did you guys read as far as the investigation, like where it began? Like, do they know where it began?
No,
I
didn't really read that much into it.
No, because how do you guys think that the players should have been faced any sort of penalty?
Well, they did try to like. I know that from what I just basically didn't read anything because like the fucking Twitter coverage of it was like so fucking dense.
I know. I know.
It did sound like they really were trying to make it sound like the fucking like it was like fucking Altuve came up with it, and like was like like forcing them like, oh well, we got these TVs, guys. Like we need you to like tell us the signs now with them. They're like, well, I don't know, guys. Like that doesn't seem like a good idea. And like, no, we need it to win. And like,
I think
it did kind of seem like they were trying to blame the players.
Yeah,
I think I read a Ringer article today, and having read it, I actually have come around to thinking the players should have faced some sort of punishment,
really?
because it came out in the Rob Manfred report that the players, of course, knew it was happening, and then how they couldn't they, of course, but then there was concern that they would be caught. And then there was strategizing within the players themselves. Once they started getting concerned that they would be caught, they started talking not about ending it, but how to hide it better.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that kind of crosses the line for me. Like there was this, I can read a quick thing. It said, Manfred's report notes that many of the players who were interviewed admitted that they knew the scheme was wrong. Still, when they were almost caught, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but it was by a White Sox reliever, Danny Farquhar.
Yeah.
Farquhar came up with it?
No, he almost caught him.
Danny Farquhar almost caught them.
They tried to kill him. That's when he had the brain aneurysm.
Is that right?
Oh,
there's a video. You can see it. Of course, it's by John Boy, who kind of broke this on Twitter, where like he's pitching in an inning, and there's like 4 or 5 pitches, and this one pitch you just bang bang, and then Farquhar immediately comes off the mound and tells the catcher like, come over here. And you can hear you can like lip read and go like, they know they have the calls, they know where the calls are.
Dude, it was against the Astros. They had the fucking the hemorrhage.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Did they try to kill him? They used the heart attack gun on him.
They did.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck. Well, they're going to come after us now.
Listen, folks, I knew they were cheating. I did. I knew it, and they tried to kill me. They tried to kill me in Las Vegas. They couldn't do it. They didn't do it. Now I'm back.
Holy shit.
That is pretty
Holy
fucking
fuck,
nuts.
dude. That's the last time he threw a pitch, so it had to have been the same game.
Yeah.
That's the last time he's pitched in the majors.
But the last paragraph of this is, once the guy for the White Sox, Farquhar, said that, it said the report details there was a sense of panic in the Astros dugout that day. Before the game ended, a group of players had taken the monitor off the tunnel wall, which was the first iteration. They had a monitor on the wall, and they took the monitor off the wall and they hid the monitor, replacing it in the playoffs with a portable monitor to presumably avoid potential detection. And I read that, and I'm like, I think some players should have been banned. I think some players should have been banned for a while.
I don't know, man. That is. Well, first of all, we got to find out who's trying to kill Danny Farquhar.
That's
and
true.
who's behind all this stuff.
That's what's most important. They fucking melted his brain.
Yeah, that's like I'm also mortified, but also pretty fucking cool. Like, Jesus, who came up with this sort of tech?
That's true. Dude, see, that was really funny. Nathan mentioned this, but when I was applying for all those jobs, like that's probably what would have happened. Is like I was applying for those jobs, and I would get there like on the first day, and they would be like, "All right, Adam, like we need you to work on this." And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, sure. Like I mean, yeah, do you guys got a laptop?" They're like, "Oh no, you don't need that. You're just banging the trash can." Like we're gonna need you to sit in the fucking in the bullpen, and when you fucking hear this sound in an earpiece, just whack the trash can twice.
Yeah. And Adam would be like, "What analytics is this serving?" And they're like, "Shut the fuck up."
It would be like The Firm, dude. It would have been like The Firm, like the John Grisham book. I would have gotten there. They would have trapped me in some sort of fucking with some sort of some blackmail material. And then they would have hemorrhaged my fucking brain when I go to the police.
Can you imagine a wildly drunk and coked up Alex Bregman just holding Adam by the collar and just being like, "You're in too deep now. You're in too deep. You can't
all
talk.
Know the secret. We all know it."
We go down. You go down.
Hey, so Ian hit us up in the chat on YouTube and said that Beltron started it. I haven't read anything about disciplining Beltron though.
They said like explicitly that he's not getting going to get disciplined. I thought.
Right.
Everyone's joking that his punishment is that he has to manage the Mets.
Right. So but why though? Is it because he was a player at the time? Is that why?
Yes.
I don't know.
It was.
Yeah.
It was from the same Ringer article that I read. It said even though he acknowledged the subterfuge of the players, Rob Manfred spared the players any punishment because in 2017 there was a minor scandal in 2017. I think it was the same with the Red Sox. The Red Sox were caught trying to steal signs from a camera in the outfield. And it was a minor scandal, but Rob Manfred went in front of all the GMs and said, if we catch you doing this, the players will not be punished. It will be you that is punished. It was meant to be kind of like we're not going to scapegoat the players. We're going to go for your ass. But with the scandal, that's the reason why, is Manfred said, I'm going to punish the GMs directly. Which kind of is more evidence of why the Astros GM Ludhow should have been banned for longer. If he knew the punishment was going to go directly 100% to him, he should have been punished longer because he knew that it went to him 100%.
Because I heard that I think more so from fans, not really from anybody in the industry. But because I heard Michael Kay actually was wondering if I think he said that before this came out, he said that they should or they have to vacate the 27 World Series title, and obviously that didn't happen. But I always felt that was just like a pointless sort of gesture. You know, what is that? What is that?
Shit about that? Yeah,
they already won it. They already got the money from it. You know, they already reaped the rewards.
Yeah, because you can't it's not as it wouldn't be as meaningless as the NCAA vacating the championships, but it is kind of well, who do you know what happened? You know how much this affected this and what are you going to do? The only way to really is to go back in time and replay it. Is you know what I mean? Who cares in the end of the day?
So you don't think they should have pulled?
Everyone's going to know. They should just get banned for life, and everybody just knows they fucking cheated. And you can feel.
So you don't think they should have? You don't think they should have pulled the World Series? And the World Series would have just gone to no one that year. But it's a
what does
blank
that mean?
World Series.
Everybody knows who won the World Series.
That's the thing. It's you can't just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, they can't fucking Men in Black us all.
Because even if I was the Dodgers, that's what they face, right? Even if I was the Dodgers, what does that do for me as a Dodger? You know, it's now that World Series that we played in just doesn't exist anymore.
But it's different, man. I honestly think it's different because whenever they take a championship away from from or usually not Louisville is the first championship taken away, but they do take away Final Fours a lot. But the difference is in college they take away Final Fours usually because you paid a player or you gave them sort of like benefit, which is not cheating. Like you're not like actively changing the results on the actual floor of the game. So, like, that's why I think when you take away a Final Four from a college basketball team, they go, who cares? We made the Final Four, whatever. Like, the stain is not there because who cares if they paid players because everyone's doing it. But with the MLB, it's like your actions your cheating affected the actual game. So to take it away would be like saying you didn't win. This is not real. Like, you didn't win it. Like, I think that would be different. I think it'd be different, honestly.
I feel you. The thing is, if they had done that, I wouldn't mind it if it had been accompanied by more serious suspensions or penalties for the Astros themselves. I'm not happy with the penalties. And if they were to go back and say, you know what, the penalties are too soft, let's go one step further and let's vacate the World Series that year, then I would still say that's trash. But if they want to do that plus give out more lifetime bans and more harsher penalties, then I'd be down for that. I mean, that's cool.
I also just want to see a lifetime ban because we've never had one.
That's true. Not in our lifetimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I want to see it.
I mean, if you're gonna give out a ban to fucking Shoeless Joe Jackson, man, like Jose Altuve definitely, and Carlos Beltran, they definitely deserve lifetime bans.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry to come down on the players, but goddamn it, I love Altuve.
They knew. They knew. They all knew, and they hit it.
Well, it's not about them knowing, though. I think because, I think, especially from a standpoint of a player, I mean, what are you really gonna do even if you know it's happening?
It's what I read. They knew about it, and then when they were close to getting caught, they actively worked to hide it better.
Yeah, that's the
line. That's the line that you cross.
Yes, I agree. That's the damn part right there. Because that's like an easy out. You know, it's like, oh shit, we're about to get caught, guys. Let's shut it down. They're like, no, we're gonna morph this shit.
That's the classic. That's the classic. I don't want to. Like, I can't smoke pot. Move. Like, oh, I don't want to smoke pot. Like, I'll get caught and we'll be in trouble, guys. Like, my parents figured it out already. But yeah, no.
But the Astros were like, well, you know what? I can't smoke pot, but Coke comes out of your system so much cleaner. Like Coke is out of your system in a day. Let's transition to cocaine. Let's transition to that.
Yeah. I'm still fucking tripping on this fucking Danny Farquhar thing, dude. They definitely tried to kill this motherfucker.
Oh, they did. Are you sure it's the same game? I feel like it wasn't.
It's not the same game. It's 2007. I found it. They said they had figured it out in 2017, but that's because they were planning. They were like, we're going to get him next time.
That's what I'm thinking. See, because if it had been the same game, I would be against you. I'd be like, that's not enough time.
A little too suspicious.
Yeah. They have time to plan this out and really do it. And then also, if it's not the same game, that gives you, maybe they don't have some kind of superior technology where they did it from a distance. Maybe they did something else like in between the games or something, put something in his drink. I don't know how brains work, honestly. Not enough to have an opinion.
It should be the tagline for this whole podcast. Southpaws, we don't know how brains work, really.
This whole thing kind of like I guess the big point too that kind of like bookends this whole like thing that not even just I have pointed out, but friend of the show and also person who does know how brains work, David Roth, has pointed out that this is like really just like very quintessentially like 21st century just America so the big thing also to me about these punishments is that you have to remember there has been like some sort of precedent in recent memory of like people doing things that are bad and scummy and have gotten them. I guess, and when I say people haven't gotten banned from the game, like we did have people banned from the game, like the guy who went to fucking prison that stole the Cardinal stuff, but or the Astros stuff with the Cardinals.
He went to prison?
Yeah, there was a guy who went to prison. Yeah.
Holy shit!
But like the thing to me, and like so then we also have what's his face, the Braves GM, who is like scamming fucking Dominican kids out of out of checks and fucking with what he really was doing that got him punished was he was fucking with the signing bonuses and like paying people under the table without reporting it to the cap or whatever.
Right.
So, and then we also have AJ Preller, who got suspended for, I believe, 2 years for the whole thing where he falsified. Actually, he might not have even got suspended for 2 years. Let me look it up. But anyways, when he falsified like medical records, it was only 30 days. Sorry. Falsified medical records. So I guess this one I'm kind of surprised about. But anyways, compared to the GM who did get banned from baseball and then this guy, the big difference is fucking Lunau was not fucking with anybody who owns a baseball team's money. You know, he wasn't fucking with capital. All he was doing was fucking with like the product itself. And look at this right now. Like, it isn't gonna make us stop watching baseball. Like, nobody gets, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna, it's not gonna fucking do anything to people watching baseball. It didn't do anything to the bottom fucking line. So they don't care. That's why they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, that's 1 year, whatever. But, like, a guy who fucked with people's paper, immediate fucking ban. Get the hell out. Like, instant ban. And I bet you nobody could even really tell you what that guy did that was wrong. He didn't, in my opinion, really do anything wrong. Like, I mean, other than like, kind of like running like a sweatshop or like, you know, he was obviously exploiting the global South, which is wrong in its own right, but so does every fucking baseball team.
What did he do?
Yeah.
He was like, so he was caught up in, he was basically taking these kids from the DR and like agreeing with their Buscone before on like a price, paying them like in cash, or like spreading the payments out in a way that hid it from the international signing pool caps. And so when he got caught, they were like, "Oh, like you know, like the whole point of this arrangement was we all get to take advantage of the global South players. Like we get to we all get to fuck them over equally." Like, you have fucked with our plantation, is like essentially what
you're saying.
Is what they did. So,
and he was paying them more money, or the same.
Yeah,
he was paying them more money.
Because like I don't know if you know,
he was hiding it because there's a cap on how much you can pay.
Right, there's like a cap of how much teams can spend, right, for international signings.
Yeah, it's small. It's small, right?
Yeah, it's not big.
Relatively, yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, there are these players, and so he's paying them like under the table so that they can stay within the cap. So
that is
the first thing.
That's exactly falling into my theory, because that is some college basketball shit. That's college basketball cheating. That's where it's just like, we'll pay you. We're gonna give your mom a house and a car.
Well, why do you think they spend so much time fighting those kind of battles in the fucking media? Because that's a fucking gravy train. That's entrenched power.
Yep.
This shit, nobody fucking cares about this. It isn't gonna stop anybody from watching baseball or them making any money. Or nope, they didn't steal money from someone else. They don't fucking give one shit.
It might actually cause.
I'm shocked that they got fired. I'm going to say that. I'm incredibly surprised they actually got fired.
You know, like Henshin.
I figured Preller was just going to run Luna was just going to run the team from a fucking secret Slack channel.
No, I was 100% surprised that they got fired.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just give them a year. The fucking Miami Marlins, the Miami Marlins will sign him, will hire him, and go, oh, it's a redemption story, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
So I mean, this is like the perfect bookend to like this whole thing of this is just this quintessential like American story of where late capitalist innovation is at, where they fucking sell. It's Theranos. It's literally Theranos is what this fucking shit is. It's like them, you know, like the blood testing company.
Sorry.
What is it?
Sorry. I said Thanos. I was just kidding.
No.
Yeah.
So Theranos. So I mean, this is literally fucking Theranos, where they're like they claim to have like invented this way to do things completely different, and this is like we have found a way around all the conventional understanding. We understand things that you know that like really what's just been happening is conventional understanding has been holding us back, and there's a way to do everything cheaper and better and more entertaining. And what was it? It was all just fucking lies. It was a fucking mechanical Turk sitting inside. It's the robot that delivered fucking pizzas on the college campus, driven by fucking people in India. Like it's fucking every machine learning task that's just done by people doing classifications by hand, like over and over until the data is just classified completely by a person, and there's no actual there's not even actually machine learning happening. Like I mean, it's all of this stuff. And,
off, King. Keep going, King.
They get caught, and then when they get fucking caught doing it, they never fucking pay the price. They find some fucking patsy because there's some guy whose name I don't even fucking know who is banned from baseball for life, and he's just some fucking dumbass that probably was like just wrote a computer program or something that did it all. I can't remember what he is. I think he was like a little more involved in that, but yeah, they just go, okay, well, we'll give you the fucking patsy guy. We'll take our fucking slap on the wrist to make it look like there's some semblance of fucking like justice and order in this universe, and then we'll just fucking go right back to making money.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
There's no innovation. We don't have innovation anymore.
We don't.
This fucking unlimited growth is just lies. It's fucking built on fucking lies, and if you believe this shit, you're a fucking rube.
I think that the internet and the information age has led to a lot of great things as far as communication. I have so many friends online that I never would have met otherwise, but it has also absolutely Maurice included. It has introduced mysticism back into the American psyche. Is that we are all in the thrall of digital mysticism, where someone just goes like, hey, you know this thing that people have been studying and trying to perfect for 500 yehave Well, I was in a garage for 18 months, and I do it better than all of them. I'm the best at it. Also, I've invented the new best thing, and it's just like everyone, because we're just like, of course, of course. Like we have I think the internet broke our brains. Where it's like our idea of what's possible. Where it's like, oh, anything is possible, and not only that is that everything impossible has now become possible, and every audacious claim is now real and true. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at with society. That's where we're at with I feel like it's starting to turn. The tide is starting to turn against that, but it's how we've been for a long time.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think it is. Yeah. What are you saying?
Why do you think it's starting to change? Like against it.
Oh, I mean, you look at like 100 different data points about the skepticism of things like Facebook and Amazon, especially. Theranos and the Astros, and for a more normie answer, the Fire Festival, just like just constant media reminders that things haven't changed, and if they look too good to be true, they are too good to be true, which is the essential claim of every digital grifter of the last 20 years is if things are too good to be true, then I'm a genius. And we're just wising up to the fact that if things are too good to be true, they're too fucking good to be true. It's fake. It's false. You're being cheated. You're being scammed. It's a snake oil salesman.
That's exactly what it is. That's 100% what it is. Yeah. I mean, that's it. It's just it's this whole idea that that we can do things, I guess, kind of without like things that should have consequence, and we can do the things without any sort of consequence, is a fucking lie to sold to you, so you don't notice that you're fucking getting your fucking shoes and pants fucking taken right off of you, while you sit there, and sold back to you. It's just fucking nonsense. Like, I mean, like there's no innovation. The only thing left to fucking improve the world is to abolish all of this fucking shit. Like, do not expect capitalism to do it. It's over. This is all they got left for you. It's fucking It's just coming up with new fucking ways to fucking sell you the same old fucking lies. That's all I got. And we don't even get cool things like fucking like TV when all we had was fucking books anymore. There's nothing. Like, I mean, that's it. We don't got anything more.
I mean, it's a tired point, but it doesn't make it any less true. Of like Amazon bookstore now opening up physical brick and mortar locations. It's just like this slap in the face where it's like none of this is new. None of this is just a scheme. All of it is a scheme. And you know who got it right? Zolf, if you're listening, friend of the show, Zolf, you know who got it right? Donald Fagen, one half of Steely Dan, with the song IG, with a 1980 song IGY, where he talks about bullet trains from New York to Paris will get you there in 30 minutes. And it's the same shit. It's the same shit always. Is every new generation with every new kick of technology, there's always a bleeding edge of grifters before by we, I mean the larger society, come to terms with the fact that any new technology is generally just a way of doing the things you had always done slightly more conveniently, or perhaps faster, or maybe a little better. But that's really all technology is. It's just a thing to do the things you were already doing, but at a more effective, better, faster rate. But before the mass public comes to terms with that, which usually happens in a decades-long rate, there will always be a bleeding edge of grifters who will tell you that we're going to go to the fucking moon, and the only thing stopping us from going to the moon is you direct depositing all of your money into my bank account. That's the only thing stopping us from fucking colonizing Mars, is you just wire transferring all of your fucking money to me.
I think that's a good
how it's
point,
always been.
I want to move on to our last thing before we run out of time, but one last thing that kind of reminds me that it has nothing to do with sports, but it does have things to remind me of the role of technology and what it could be, and how capitalism literally just fucking tears away our humanity and leaves like fucking murderous carnage in its wake. Is this past week, activist Aaron Swartz committed suicide, I believe 7 years ago.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're not familiar with Aaron, incredible tech activist, had set up laptops to sit on, I believe, Harvard's network, university's network, though, to log in, transfer JSTOR articles into a private database he was building to bring JSTOR. JSTOR is basically, if you don't know, is like a database of published researched articles. It's extremely expensive to get a membership to it. Usually you have
humanities mostly, right? Humanities stuff, stories.
I don't know if it's just humanities, but I mean I used it a lot in college.
Yeah.
For things like that. I believe usually you can go to a library and get access to it, but the thing is, it's not made readily available, and it should be because it's exactly what the internet was designed for. The people who designed the internet, this is like what they wanted to do when they were designing it. Like people building the internet were directly embracing these kind of ideals of anarchism and communalism and syndicalism, and people like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs completely undermined that entire project, took advantage of a lot of the trust. But Aaron was of that that original train, and so he was attempting to download. Basically, he was attempting to just download JSTOR and publish it publicly. Got caught. The feds were threatening him with life in prison. He tragically committed suicide to avoid having to serve that sentence and deal with what was going to happen to him. So much coercion happened from the U.S. government that put him in that place and threatened his life, and they are directly responsible for his death. And I just want to remind people to remember that we can use this technology, and capitalism is the thing that's dehumanizing this technology and using it against us. And they are the one, that is the force coming up with these lies and dehumanizing us, literally murdering us, literally trying to keep us in the fucking dark about from all the power that this technology could offer the human race.
Absolutely.
I just want everybody, if you haven't heard of Aaron, check him out. He's an incredible guy. And think of his parents who are clearly still very very affected by it. As I can only imagine having a son like that taken from you.
And that's one that's only a minute is that no, seriously though, but addendum on what you were saying is I don't want people to think that I'm some sort of Luddite. I'm not. There's no reason why the internet can't be used, technology can't be used for all of us to only work 3 hours a day and then just have fun the last 21 hours a day and hang out with your friends and read books and create art and travel and shit. There's no reason that can't happen. But what I was talking about with technology is just a shell game that people will always use to scam you is what has to happen if technology and the internet is controlled by capitalist interests. That's the only logical outcome. That's the only outcome that can be. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's the only one. So that's just a little addendum to me not being a Luddite, and that's what I believe. And Dan Schwartz is a good ass dude, and he'll be missed.
Yeah, fucking rest in power, my man. One of the reasons why I started programming, honestly. So, yeah. So the last story I want to talk about is kind of what we've kind of been touching on. Some politics of memory and how how these things are sold to us. And you were talking about how people are kind of copying wise to the lies, and we're not living this kind of what Frederick Jameson, the only philosopher that I actually know, describes as the schizophrenia of postmodernism, which is where you kind of culturally don't know where you're at, and the politics of remembering the story are not controlled by you. The Olympics, which are becoming increasingly irrelevant in this time, I feel.
Yes.
Who the fuck gives a shit about the Olympics at this point? They fucked up the only good part of the Olympics, which was the hockey tournament, because they won't pay the NHL. Which is, whatever, but yeah, fucking pay them. The Olympics have some real NCAA mindset, where they're just very pissed that they would ever have to give money to anybody but themselves. But yeah, so the Olympics has they have said that there will be no protesting tolerated at the 2020 games in Tokyo. I just have to say that definitely means there's going to be a lot of it, would be my guess.
It's also very specific types of protesting, right? That have been specifically outlined in the ban.
They specifically mentioned kneeling.
Kneeling.
Let me check to see for sure.
Which?
So they issued new guidelines. God damn it! I gotta turn it. God, speaking of fucking capitalism ruining everything, what about how you can't go to a fucking news site without just getting blasted with, like, you have to turn off your ad blocker, you have to you can't read it on mobile because none of the fucking mobile ads render correctly. Anyways,
they said specifically
prohibit from taking a knee during the national anthem, making political hand gestures, displaying political messages, and refusing to respect fellow medalists.
Yes.
Yeah. They would be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. Did not detail what kind of discipline they could face.
You know what would really suck? It would really suck if a bunch of athletes from different countries had solidarity with each other and all decided to protest gold, silver, bronze, and really just make them decide what they want to do with that. I think it's interesting that we're in a moment of the Olympics doing this at a time where there is more civil unrest in more countries than we have seen in at least 3 decades since the end of the Cold War, definitely. So, like, this could backfire on them pretty hard, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, very unsurprising. It just recognizes the Olympics' role in all of this. Like they're still like this massive conglomerate that very much holds the same interests that the elites do as well. Because I mean, too, wasn't where was the last Olympics held? Was it Beijing?
Which one? You talking about the summer one?
London.
Yeah, London.
Oh, that was 2012. I don't fucking remember.
Was it Beijing?
No, Beijing was 2008.
2016.
A long time.
Well, Rio,
yeah.
Rio de Janeiro.
Rio, that's right. Which was incredibly political. That was an incredibly political Olympics.
Right. Yeah.
From the population. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so. I feel like this is very unsurprising to me, and but I am very curious and very much wondering how it's going to be combated. I'm hoping that there's going to be some countries / players / athletes who do have some sort of politic in them that allows them to combat that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like ridiculous to think that that people after you told them this won't do it. Like, I mean, this whole thing is just has such a death knell of the NCAA trying to do anything at this point, where it's just you realize nobody fucking gives a shit. I mean, every Olympics at this point is being vehemently protested by their populations. Nobody fucking wants an Olympics anymore. I mean, it's just it's just I don't even know what kind of soft power they think they're gonna gain from this. I mean, this is really just I think it's another thing, like you said, where Nate was talking about how we live in this moment where it's just kind of you can't really fucking do these kind of lies anymore. You can't just fucking anytime you try to make this kind of fucking propaganda, you just most people are just gonna immediately see through it, because. I mean, this is just clearly an attempt to straddle the fence on oh well, we always want this to be about everybody and blah blah blah, but everyone's just gonna I mean, I think see it for what it is, and at bare minimum are gonna be well, that just seems kind of stupid. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, the 2020s are going to be categorized by two things, and I think that I spoke about this either a week or 2 weeks ago, but it's sort of like, on one hand, yes, like almost everybody sees through the shit, and then the late 2010s have also been categorized by this idea that democratically elected governments are not, and all governments, but also democratically, are not really beholden to the will of the populace anymore. Is that they, with a smaller, dedicated nationalist base, they can just not care about the will of the people. So the 2020s will be a contest, and it is a contest between the majority of people who see it all as bullshit, and will they do anything about it, versus will we say as a country or as a world that we're just too tired, and that we give up. And that's it. That's the only question there is to be answered in the 2020s. That is the essential question. That is the only question to be answered, whether you're looking at anything, the Olympics, anything whatsoever. That is the global question to be answered. Do we have fight left in us? There we go.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out at the Olympics, I guess. We'll see what happens. Megan Rapinoe is already saying...
The answer will be questioned at the Olympics.
Yes. That's how NBC will sell it. I mean, that is the thing that's, it's always funny is, I mean, I was watching this video on the debates today, and they were talking about, like they were talking about, like, kind of like how a moderator doesn't really care about the answer. They're just trying to drive conflict, and it's like, even in the last debate, and like early in these debates, they were trying to ignore Bernie, but like now, it's almost like Bernie's getting to the point where it's like Trump. Well, they're like, oh well, he's driving ratings, so like we need to upplay the Bernie storyline on this reality TV show, and it's interesting to see what's going to happen when I think capitalism starts thinking that it can sell the movement, and who buys it when it starts getting sold. Because it definitely already is getting sold. I mean, think about it. I mean, it's been getting sold for a while at this point. Because, I mean, like fucking Beyonce had the fucking formation shit at fucking the Super Bowl. And, I mean, like, that's just one I can think of, like, straight off the top of my head about, like Black Lives Matter being commodified and sold back to people. Like, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens, when... Because capitalism will not care. Capitalism does not have an ideology. Like, it is its own ideology. Like, I mean, it can take on many flavors and pretend that it believes in things. But it doesn't. Like, all it believes in is fucking consuming and eating itself. Like, I mean, eating until there's nothing left. And so it's going to be interesting to see if it does, like, destroy itself because it tried to, like, that it did try to, like, capitalize on this movement, and they ended up just amplifying it. So I am a little cynical about it. Like, I do think people will stop as soon as it becomes, like, this mainstream thing, and, like, it will become neutered, and it won't become... But, like, I do have hope. Like I said, I think we have been talking about it. This is an episode about getting hype. It's about an episode about believing in things. It's believing in things that you think that you knew in your heart were impossible. Like the
95
Illinois
win
basketball
White
team
Sox.
Ever cracking the fucking top 10 or the top 25 AP basketball rankings. That would never happen in my lifetime. It's happened, baby. We're going to win. We're going to fucking defeat these people.
We're going to do it.
We're going to fucking do it. We all know what we're doing. Look at fucking idiots like us. We're sitting here. We're dumbasses.
We're fucking morons.
We fucking... Maybe that's partially why we believe. Maybe it's partially because I've had 2 sakes that I believe. But
we do see the progression of the beliefs.
Yeah. Here's the thing too, is that that's very true, and I know that we've debated or talked, the three of us, many times about the merits of electoralism, and I think that's a very poignant point of what you're talking about. Is if Bernie does the damn thing, it will be co-opted by capitalism. But here's the sad but also kind of beautiful, optimistic point: is if Bernie's movement is partially sort of taken over by capitalism, guess what? It doesn't change the material conditions of people. Like the reason for this radicalism of today is because the material conditions of people are so very fraught. That's what it is. And so Bernie's movement will be based off of how much he can deliver to people's material conditions. And if he can't, people won't be satisfied, because this isn't the Reagan era. This isn't the era where you can just appeal to people's good feelings. Like, oh, sunshine in America. Because the material conditions of most people are dog shit. And so it's either gonna be social democracy or something further like socialism or fascism. Those are your options, folks. That's it. Those are the options.
Yep. That's
middle case scenario, the middle right down the line scenario is social democracy. It won't make anyone happy. It'll make the fascists unhappy. It'll make the socialists unhappy. The best case scenario, socialism. Worst case scenario, fascism. That's what we got. Those are the only options you fucking have. That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
There we are. The only other option is actually it's the same option. You can either believe in barbarism, or you can believe that Illinois basketball is fucking back, baby. ILL.
I.
That's a good point to leave it. I guess we're at 10:30. A little housekeeping stuff. We got the All-Star Game stream coming up. Been talking to Tony. It sounds like maybe we're gonna have some little Sport Watcher Pro content. He's gonna be fucking live in St. Louis. He's gonna be in the heart of things. He's gonna be getting us the fucking pulse of the city during All-Star Weekend.
I'm ready.
We got Tony. Just for the listeners right now, it'll probably be out by the time I put this in the podcast, because I just realized today I forgot to put last week's podcast on the actual episode on the podcasting feed. So probably by the time there will be fucking this is exclusive to the live listeners. I bought a Ryan Reeves cameo. Ryan Reeves, winger on the Las Vegas Knights. Great. Awesome player. We love him. He's awesome. He's gonna be promoting the stream for us. We have, like I said, Tony from Minion Death Cult. Very excited to talk. Probably not a lot of Kings. He's a Kings fan, or no, he's a Sharks fan. They suck too. So no Kings talk, or no Sharks talk from him. But we're gonna be talking some hockey. We're two fucking dudes from non-traditional hockey markets, so I'm very excited to talk about that. I'm excited to see the haters hopefully come out. Don Cherry maybe make an appearance.
What's the date? What's the date on that?
That's the 24th. It's the last Saturday, I believe.
Of February.
25th of January. 25th. So it's next Saturday. It's not this upcoming one, but it's the one after. So we're
Can I jump on as a complete novice to hockey and just talk shit? Can I do that?
We'll see, Nathan. We'll see. This is hockey is a very serious sport. You gotta understand the mentality of hockey fans. There's not a lot of outsiders. You gotta be a true believer.
I like when they slap the balls into the net.
Oh man,
I like it. It's fun to me when that happens. It's enjoyable. It releases the serotonin. I want to be on.
I believe actually that will also be the anniversary of us at Madison Square Garden because I was watching the All-Star Game skills competition that night too.
It's meant to be.
What was I gonna say? I am coming up. I just talked to Brian today. We are doing the March Madness street thing with Street Fight. That is going to be starting at the end of the month. I don't know when he's releasing those, but we are starting to record those at the end of the month. So that will be a lot of fun. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I believe you got to subscribe to the Street Fight Patreon. So I feel like every one of our listeners probably has subscribed to the Street Fight Patreon. If you haven't, you should. I highly recommend the Zine tier. They put out so much content, I honestly can't keep up with it all. But I do love the zines. I put them on top of my fucking toilet. They're great toilet reading. A lot of fun. But you should. I believe it starts at $1 if you would just want the episodes. So you can listen to these episodes that we're going to be doing for $1.
It's good as hell.
We're talking about trying to figure out something for the actual March Madness. We want to do something. Our dream is to do some sort of live party thing with gambling. Maybe naked men in cages dancing, naked women in cages, naked non-binary people. Don't know if we have the budget or the turnout. Let us know if you think that could be possible. Maybe we can figure something out with somebody else. Put something together. It would be a lot of fun to at least like have something in a city watching the tournament because it is the first 4 days of the tournament are literally my favorite fucking day and my favorite time in sports.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
The best fucking days of the year for me. So yeah.
And guess what? Illinois is gonna be there, motherfuckers. Illinois is gonna be there.
Yeah,
we're gonna be there.
It's hard to plan because we're already making our travel arrangements. Just praying for that Greensboro date. If they can get into Greensboro, we're fucking golden.
Or Ohio. If we could do Greensboro or Ohio, then we wouldn't have to fly.
I literally was just in there. I was at Greensboro last Wednesday buying bonsai trees. 45-minute drive from my house.
Perfect. But I'm just saying we don't have to drive. We don't have to fly if it's Ohio or Greensboro. I'll take either one of those. There's two in Ohio. I'll take all three of those. I'll take it. Don't put us in fucking Spokane or something like that. Don't do that.
Schedule in whichever way gets you into Greensboro. Let's just play to that. I don't care if it's a fucking 10 seed into Greensboro. I'd rather the proximity. Better for me.
I prefer like a 4 or 5 seed, Brad. Let's go for that. Let's do that.
Yeah, I think that's it. We got some guest plans. We're working on guests. Let us know if you have a guest that you want. We know Justin Jackson. I talked to his publicist. He knows we exist. He just might be, he's holding out for Chapo or something.
He's busy. He's a busy man.
Yeah, he's a busy guy. Or he found out we were Illini fans, and he's just being petty. He's jealous. Jealousy is not a good look, Justin. It's a bad look. It's a bad look to be jealous that your team has only made the tournament one time ever. Just saying. Just saying.
Also, we might have some new tunes next week.
Oh, new tunes.
Friend of the show, Zolf. I said we need a instrumental version of Huey Long's classic "Every Man a King," and he responds with a coy face, kind of that face of like, oh, I can. But it's kind of one of those like smirking faces, like I see what you did there. So Zolf, I'm putting you on blast. You need to make that for next week. Zolf, make it. Do it.
There we go.
Every man a king. Every man a king.
So watch out for Ryan Reeves promoting Southpaws. Hopefully he does our cameo and is like, this podcast sounds fucking awesome. I should just come do it. He's just going to be on the All-Star Game stream. Apparently would send Tony into a tiz because I was talking about with him today. And Ryan Reeves is like top 3 player for him. Fucking loves the man. So that would be awesome. I've been listening to Block Party a lot lately, and they have been mentioning if you want to say something to a celebrity, you go on Cameo and type what you want, and they just deny it. Like, because like they were saying, like if you want to like really make sure somebody read like a bad tweet you were sending them, you go on Cameo and you send like "fuck you, I fucking hate you," blah, whatever, and then you just risk that maybe you get charged them actually doing the Cameo for you. So I kind of like took that mentality in, and I was kind of trying to be like, Ryan Reeves, check out our podcast. Trying to leave it open to him being like, oh, maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll hit these guys up for a little bit more. Maybe I'll be like, oh, you know what? Like, let me one up the Cameo. Let me just come on.
Yeah.
So I live in a fantasy world. I live in a fantasy world most days. As we've gone over, you have to do it when you're an Illini basketball fan. So, yeah. Until next week, I guess. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Much love.
By the rivers gently flowing, Illinois, Illinois. By the prairies verdant growing, Illinois, Illinois. Comes an echo on the breeze, rustling through the leafy trees, and its mellow tones are these, Illinois, Illinois, and its mellow tones are these, Illinois. Not without thy wondrous story, Illinois, Illinois, can be writ the nation's glory, Illinois, Illinois. On the record of the years, Abraham Lincoln's name appears, Grant and Logan and our tears, Illinois, Illinois, Grant and Logan and our tears, Illinois. 1818 saw your founding, Illinois, Illinois, and your progress is unbounding, Illinois, Illinois. Pioneers once cleared the land where great industries now stand. World renowned you do command, Illinois, Illinois. World renowned you do command, Illinois. Let us pledge in final chorus, Illinois, Illinois, that in struggles still before us, Illinois, Illinois, to our heroes will be true, as their vision we pursue, in abiding love for you, Illinois, Illinois, in abiding love for you, Illinois.